welcome to Xena, Warrior Podcast. My name is Vera, and I'm joined, as always, by my two lachrymose co-hosts, Katie
Hello.
and Livy.
Throws a pie in Vera's face.
Thank you. I do not want to eat that pie because it is made out of whipped cream and mashed potatoes.
Vera, you love mashed potatoes.
I guess,
And
but
you love cream.
but together, I don't know, maybe it was two different pies.
Potato pie, cream pie.
Just
They're
pick-
both going in your face.
You have to
I
pick
guess.
dessert or savory.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't
Don't
mix
mix, but then you can do that thing that Joey did from Friends, like jam good, meat,
Meat
good.
What's not to love?
Yeah, there you go. Well, today we are going to be punching each other in the face a lot. No, we're just talking about punchlines. But before that, like slight announcement about just summer schedules. You know, once in a while we might have to take a week off, literally because it is the summertime and it's very difficult to juggle three people's schedules.
Yeah, it's true.
And that's just kind of like,
Yeah.
sometimes that happens.
It's true.
So
People just keep going on vacations, you monster.
Stop it.
sometimes it's not even vacation. Sometimes it's like you have deadlines for
Oh my god,
things,
sometimes you have
and
deadlines.
Sometimes you do.
Sometimes you just got stuff happening.
So it's not always fun and games, guys. It's not always fun and games.
That's true, yeah. Sometimes when we take a week off, it is not actually a vacation.
Yeah. It's like, it literally means there's so much shit that like could not make Xena.
We always try to make Xena happen.
We do. We really do. So, you know, just be warned if a week drops or a week happens
week
and
drops.
no ep drops.
A week
There we go.
without Xena is a week that drops.
Aw. But not this week because we do have an
No.
ep this week.
Wee!
So we can talk about it. It is 511 Punchlines, written by Chris Mannheim and directed by Andrew Merrifield.
We haven't seen Andrew in a while. He's one of
Is
my
he too
faves.
small for us to notice? Is that what's going on?
I would explain it. But yeah, I'll always have a lot of affection for Andrew for directing Been There, Done That, a great comedy episode.
yes.
And I think you can see his dab hand here. He is very good at getting a punchline off.
Oh, man.
That's how it's going to be.
Oh, gosh. Well, I guess let's begin by saying I think we all enjoyed this.
Oh, yes. I like it.
We have a long history of enjoying most of the clip shows.
Yeah.
Like, I would say so far the show is like 4 for 5.
4 for 5.
Yeah.
And it's not like Deja Vu is not without
Oh, man, that is the worst one.
merit.
It's definitely the worst one.
Well, we were talking about how
It's,
it's
it's a shitty clip show. It's bad at being a clip show.
Yeah, let's
this one
we
or
should-
No,
Deja Vu?
Deja Vu.
Okay.
This one isn't great at being a clip show,
But it was
it's
fun.
a good episode
It's-
that is also a clip show.
In terms of Xena's high standard of clip shows, it is a little more general in the clip usage, although there was room for it to be slightly less. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
starts off with a promising like concept, but then they do utilize the clips in a more normal clip-esque show way. Clip show-esque way. But to recap, let's recap the clip shows.
Oh, the clip shows.
Season 1 is our friends at the Bard School.
Yeah,
Oh,
at the
I love
City
it.
Academy.
Which was
The
super
most thought was put into that one, I think.
Absolutely, and I loved how they used footage from outside Xena, which
Yeah.
we get a callback to here.
Well, I mean, they used it in Xena Scroll.
They used it in Xena
That
Scrolls,
was
and they
season 2,
used
right?
it. I feel like they used it somewhere else. Maybe not in a clip show. We had some older footage, but
Alright.
yeah, definitely those are the most prominent Xena Scrolls
Yeah.
and Athens Academy.
So we had Athens Academy, then we had Xena Scrolls.
Third season was Forget Me Not,
Yeah.
an
Right.
amazing episode of the show,
Right.
Yes. And then,
written by Chris Mannheim.
was it? I don't remember.
Pause for check.
I lie, it's Hilary Bader,
Oh,
a
okay.
different woman.
Right. Oh, okay. How dare you confuse the women?
Oh, no.
There are only 2.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's Deja Vu.
And the Deja Vu. And now
yeah,
it's now.
now it's this. Right.
So this is unique in that it is basically only comedies. There are a few notable exceptions, but they've decided to make a comedy clip show about comedy clips.
Nice. Okay. I think I didn't notice that, but it's probably because I was thinking of like the other examples, the exceptions, I think, as you said.
Well, this feels like your kryptonite, Vera, because it's like Stooge montage. What's worse than one Stooge-inspired fight scene?
700.
A supercut of them all together.
I looked away.
No.
I thought that the actual like editing of the clips was good because it wasn't just like, and then one time we did this in a giant clip from like an episode. It was like, you know, there was this time and that jocks were stupid, and there was this time, and and it was really fast. Like, so it kind of didn't feel like you're, you know, forced to watch something that you've already seen.
I agree. Yeah, it actually was departing a little from standard clip show where you actually show a scene, like to fill time. Here, they really just show it so that it's almost like a guessing game. Like the second you figured out what episode it's from, it moves on to the next one.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you guys feel about Chris Mannheim's work here? We've been very hard on Chris this year.
I think this was a little bit of a redemption arc moment.
I agree. I would say this episode is quite subtext heavy across the board.
Massive.
I would, I shake Chris's hand.
I sort of like misremembered that this was one episode. Like I remember there was an episode where Gabrielle was small and the horse was small and there was lacrimose, and then I also remember there was a clip show where she had to stay up all night with Aphrodite, and I just didn't remember there was the same episode.
Something tells me Vera likes one of these, but not the other.
Yep. So let's do you guys want to get into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So interior, Aphrodite's temple, night.
I had the same fucking note. Oh my god.
Gabrielle with quill and parchment writes the purplest of prose.
Oh my god, she really does. I didn't write it down. It was that bad.
Oh, let's
the
say
Anesiatic waters of the river Styx. Something, the night, something. I don't have it.
I was sure you were going to write that down, Liv.
I'm sorry to disappoint you. I wrote down, what is she wearing? Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Silky PJs from Chin. Duh.
Yeah.
Shopping spree.
And then later, Aphrodite magics herself into also a mandarin collared, like, night outfit. Yeah, I was like, what is this?
I just remember her spending a lot of time.
In the 90s?
I think probably.
Yeah.
Can't quite think of an example. All I can think of that one time that, you know, Madonna did that video, but it was Japan inspired.
Oh, yeah. Problematic.
Oh, but awesome. She had red eyebrows. I wanted them so bad.
Oh, my God. I'm glad you didn't have them.
My mom wouldn't let me.
You asked?
But I did. Okay,
so
moving on.
Gabs, writes something.
She writes
really
this like
over
intense, very intense sentence.
Yeah.
And this is always my favorite when you hear Gabs's writer's internal monologue, and it's kind of bad. It's just so purple.
Yeah.
And then it's funny when she, like, shames Aphrodite for, like, using big words.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, Gabs, did you hear your writing 10 minutes ago?
Seriously.
It was so
But she knows
pretentious.
that Anesiatic is not a word.
I liked how this montage was kind of filmed. You know, it was like one camera, and then you had her sort of, like, write in, like, one place, and then they would dissolve, and she's, like, somewhere else trying it, like, crumpling up the little parchment.
Crumpling the paper and, like, sitting funny. Like, Yeah.
You feel the frustration. You feel, like, you know, the time passing and that she's probably the only person awake, like, in, like, a 5-mile radius. Yeah.
She eats the fruit from the offering to Aphrodite.
Oh, yeah.
Not cool.
And then why was there an hourglass, like, timing her?
I think just she's checking the time.
Maybe she was trying to do a writing sprint.
Yeah, I think I'm going to say it's a writing
sprint. I like it.
Yeah.
I liked her, like, so you can obviously you can hear her inner thoughts, and one of them is, this is so good. No, it's not.
I like that, yeah.
I also like the sad noise when she makes her little parchment airplane and throws it,
yeah.
and it's like the wilty noise.
Yeah. So Aphrodite appears, and is she wearing less than usual?
Kind of.
Sort
but
of.
Not really.
Her previous appearance was also very skimpy. I think the new costume designer prefers less fabric. Maybe she's trying to save some money by, just kind of as little fabric as possible.
And I was really thinking about this in the last stretch of episodes, and I don't know if it was in this episode or previous one or whatever, but it is amazing. Like, costume designers are amazing. Every single person who makes a TV show is amazing, and you gotta have everybody on a level because, listen, we clearly have an issue with the new costume designer.
Her name is Jane Holland.
And it makes what would be a normally good episode, and you can still feel like an episode is good, but when you're looking at, like, the cheap, weird costumes, it just makes it look dumb, and it makes it look dumber than it is.
Are you thinking about, like, Athena's armor and all that stuff?
Yeah!
I was thinking about Succession, where we talked about that extensively, and how the villain was let down by the costume.
Like, it's just like,
I've forgotten her name, poor lady.
Yeah.
It's just really important that what you're looking at, like, everybody wearing be good.
Okay, wait, I figured it out. So there is a specific ratio that must be hit per episode of skin. And because Gabrielle is, like, fully pajamaed, we have to have less on Aphrodite.
I will say that Aphrodite in the scene that we're discussing is wearing pants.
Hot pants?
No, full-length pants.
No, they're not full-length. She's
is.
just wearing little shorts.
I thought she was wearing, like, actual pants.
Girl, please.
I've never seen
my she does not wear businesswoman pants.
They're more like bell-bottom.
No. She has shorts, the little undie shorts, like straight up of, like, Victoria's Secret. Like, however, my explanation is that she wore less specifically because she has an agenda this episode.
She does, and that is true. This is very
the beginning
in character
of her agenda. So she shows up.
Not a hetero agenda.
No, it is not. Thank you, Chris. So she shows up. And she goes, boo, to scare Gabrielle. Because that's very flirty and cute. And Gabs is like, oh my God, shut up. Like, don't wake Xena.
Yeah.
Cut to.
Oh my God.
This, like, bed.
Okay, so she is in two of the shots, the close-ups.
Of
Lucy.
the bed?
Yeah.
Oh, I totally thought it was
her head is there.
They did one shot of her, like, sleeping on the ground, and then the rest of it is, like, pillows covered in fucking
it's like
giant
the thing
fur.
you do where you trick your parents into not realizing you snuck out.
Yeah.
That is
The Ferris
Lucy
Bueller.
in
Yeah.
this scene.
No, she is in the first one, but it's really cute because she's, like, snoring, and Gabrielle's like, shh, don't wake up, Xena.
I like how, it's just like this giant, like, mound with, like, a blanket on top of it, and then there's just, like, the chakram kind of, like, like, lying next to it just to tell you, like, this is Xena. Xena's under here.
Okay, so Aphrodite asks, like, why, Gabs is not sleeping, and, Gabs like, ugh, it's a long story, like, I don't want to bother you, and she's like, well, I have all the time in the world, so...
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, she does. And also, remember, she's here for, like, a reason. She has an agenda, so she's like, yeah, I'm going to totally, like, spend some time with you, babe. And she's like, cool, let's do, like, a cute little therapy sesh. So she puts on the little, what are they called?
The little Freud glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, she called Gab Sweet Pea.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
you enjoy that?
I did.
enjoy that.
Yeah. And
I also like when she's angry at Gabs for, like, dismissing her and not wanting to talk to her. She's like, you treat me like a rash where the sun don't shine. Which I feel like was her coded way of saying, I would like to be where the sun don't shine.
Well, then once the therapy session starts, like, it begins with her, like, throwing Gabs onto, like, the, therapy couch. Mm-hmm. And, like, the way that it was, like, a crotch shot. Like, the camera was, like, at her crotch.
Not register that.
And then, like, all the squirrels fall down on her crotch, too.
It was crazy.
It was a little odd.
What?
It was a little odd.
Like, scrolls can be kind of phallic.
What?
I don't know. This episode's off with a bang.
I saw people on Whoosh liken this to Deja Vu all over again, the previous clip show, like having the framing device be a therapist's couch. It's an interesting
Oh, we were going to say,
parallel.
we sort of were talking amongst ourselves before recording, and it was an interesting note about how all the clip shows are Gabrielle-focused.
A lot of...
And then we were like,
Yeah.
oh, but not Deja Vu. And then we were like, oh, but she directed it. So it's Gabrielle adjacent.
Yeah, like 3 and like Xena Scrolls.
Xena Scrolls actually is, I would say Deja Vu and Xena Scrolls don't quite fit.
Don't quite.
But that makes
That's
sense.
3 out of 5.
Deja Vu is a sequel to Xena Scrolls. So they're like kind of a separate series.
Yeah.
But then you have
then...
Athens, Forget Me Not, and now.
And then
Punchlines.
next season, kind of on the other set. So it's
Yeah.
like 3 and 3,
3 and
of
3.
clip shows. Whoa.
There are 2 kinds of clip
Whoa.
shows: the Gabs and the Xena Scrolls.
Oh man, this is why we do the podcast.
Yeah.
Blowing it wide open.
Okay, so Gabs is like, all right, fine, let's do therapy, and she kind of, she admits to Aphrodite that she misses writing.
Yeah.
I love this.
Yeah.
Every time this comes up, it doesn't come up often. It came up, if you can believe it, in the Chin episodes. But basically nowhere else. And it is so important. It's so key to her character that she's a bard. So I love that this is actually now becoming a real problem that's being investigated on screen.
But the main problem she's having right now when she's like ready to pick it up again is that she has writer's block.
Mm-hmm. Because she's a terrible writer.
But clearly
she needs to get better.
The scrolls
she
get
needs
written.
To think more about the words she's putting on the page.
So Aphrodite's like trying to be helpful, and she's like, well, how would you write about today? Mm-hmm. And so this kind of makes Gabs go into a flashback of their day / the episode.
I think this is really like great therapy, writer's block therapy on Aphrodite's part. I think this is a really low stress way of like getting the wheels turning.
Yeah, easing her in with a little exercise.
Yeah.
So we begin the day with our gang, Xena, Gabs, and Joxer. They're going to Pilos, which they were just at, to kill Eli.
Something went wrong here.
Yeah.
They did actually shoot punchlines, I think, before the last few episodes that we've seen.
Okay.
Eli was in...
They went to Pylos.
Yeah, Pylos. Yeah. Right, there it was Pylos.
Oh, okay, yeah, they mispronounced. Maybe it's
Pylos.
2 different places.
Maybe, but they did actually shoot this earlier in the run.
Well, whatever. They went there. They killed Eli. Then they went to Melodia.
I love that you're like, they killed Eli.
Yes,
Those
they
monsters.
murdered him. Murdered him dead. And then now they're back.
But they seem like they're in Greece now.
Whatever, it doesn't really matter. They're going to displaced Pilos. It's just, you don't even see it. It's just a tavern, really, guys.
Yeah.
And a supermarket.
A supermarket and a stream. Like, that's all. So on the way there, our gang, Xena, Gabs, and Joxer, are trying to come up with names for Xena's baby.
And Gabs is terrible at this.
Oh my god. She's like, I came up with the best one.
Rochelle.
I
which
guess. I
is
mean,
very...
it's fine.
Oh, no.
I don't know.
If your
baby
name is
cannot-
Rochelle.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry,
It's a
any
lovely
Rochelle's
Rochelle's.
in the audience, but Xena's like, no, and have her nickname be Roachy? No thanks.
She says roach, but I am gonna allow it because I like your reference.
And then Ella wishes for a boy.
Ella wishes for a boy.
That's an intense one.
I like it. That's not funny.
So she's getting cranky and like slightly hangry, so, they need to speed things up. But Xena says that she hasn't been cranky for years.
I wonder what qualifies. Yeah, what is years?
What does she mean by
I
that?
like that. I like that she says years.
What
Because
is years?
in her mind, that means she has been cranky at one point. It's very specific to her.
Yeah.
Is it when she started murdering everyone? That was when she was
Certainly
last
cranky
cranky.
then.
Maybe she has a very specific definition of the word cranky.
Well, Joxer is forced to come up with examples of the last time she was cranky, and
So
that is our
this
first,
the first
clips
clip, which is
situation.
this is like kind of stereotypical clip show because we're just having characters be like, I remember when do clip clip clip.
Yeah, and it was like all the times she's a bitch to Joxer.
Yeah, but only to Joxer. So we get her like beating up on him in Fish, Femmes, and Gems.
Fish, femmes, and gems.
What the hell is it called?
Fins.
I wrote that down in my notes. That's
Yeah.
why
You're
I'm
just
confused.
super excited for
Yeah,
a
it's
couple
coming.
weeks from now.
Oh. Yeah.
Her beating up on him in Animal Attraction when he like talks to the baby, intimate stranger. which for some reason gets a lot of play.
Yeah.
Even though it is not a comedy, but it does have one single comedy moment. Been there, and then ends with Been There, Done That, where she kills Joxer. This one is funny because it's so dark.
But like, do they remember it? He wouldn't remember that.
And then it's weird because it cuts out of the flashback to him like reacting to it, being like, "Oh yeah, that was the worst."
Maybe she later said,
him about
like,
it?
she went on about how like she repeated the day and like one time I killed you, like that kind of thing.
No.
So it really stuck with him.
I mean, it would.
Xena insists that she's in full control of her emotions, and Gabs bets that, you know what, by the end of the day, if you lose your temper...
Then she has to do the cooking, the cleaning.
Yeah, for a month. Cooking and cleaning for a month, and then Xena goes, throwing back rubs, and you got a deal. And to which Katie said...
Well, I mean, it was just like, Gabs, I think, was just very confident that she was going to win this. Right?
Oh, man.
And thus not have to do the things that she just does on the regular for free. For free, for fun. Like the back rubs thing, she just does.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's an issue.
She's happy for an excuse to do more back rubs.
Like, so Xena threw that in, God knows why. I think she was just... So, yeah, I just felt like Gabs didn't have like a good, like, she needed another thing, not just to... like not do her normal stuff, but to like get something
well,
else.
I think this way she'll get the back rubs, so that's nice.
Well, she would get the back rubs, yeah.
Do we know if Xena's good at back rubs for other people?
Well, she's good at the pinch.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So that could go either way.
Okay.
Either her back rubs are too aggressive, or they're amazing.
Okay.
Or maybe Xena, maybe I have it backwards. Maybe Xena needed to add something more because she just gets all these things on the regular.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe I just had it backwards.
Yeah, Gabs is getting a good deal. Xena is screwing herself here.
So,
They shake on it.
It's
they shake on it with like
how she reacts
with like a spit.
Yeah, what was that?
That's just like, very like
packed.
Yeah, packed and very like little like boy specific.
Yeah, very boy specific.
Like, yeah.
Anyway.
Gabrielle does not like it.
Yeah, but I think she went a little overboard with the like. She was like drying it off for probably 30 minutes. And like I love 10 scenes later, she's still drying it off.
I love how Xena throws in there, just like, doesn't count. This is not me losing my temper. I'm just rubbing my saliva on you because I'm in a good mood.
I just, like, I know that it's a silly episode with Xena being silly, and we'll go through all the little moments and stuff, and we sort of sometimes have issues with when there's a comedy, like when is, like, Xena in a comedy? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, maybe we'll hit on this as we go along, but I like Lucy in this episode.
Yeah.
And, I think that the fact that the whole comedy plot of it is about how Xena is angry, makes it funny and very Xena-esque. Like, she's not doing things that she wouldn't normally, you know what I mean? It, feels organic to the idea that, she's just trying not to be a cranky, angry lady, which is hard because she's pregnant.
I was comparing this in my head to Animal Attraction, where, if you remember, I really didn't like the treatment of pregnancy, which I just thought it was like, punchline.
Yeah.
And just very stereotypical. I think the treatment of mood swings here is much more organic, as you say, to the character. You feel like this Xena's in a bad mood, and sort of feels bad about it. I think that she's in such a shitty mood all the time, and the way you see it affecting Gabrielle and Joxer. To me, this is just much more character driven as a way of talking about pregnancy.
Exactly.
So she needs lunch, so Gab's like, all right, in the spirit of friendship, you go ahead to the tavern, get yourself some grub, and I'll take the horses and, water them down and give them baths. And Xena's like, okay, fine, but don't fuck it up. And then she's like, okay, Joxer, come with me. And he really doesn't want to go. And that was really funny because he kept miming to Gab's like, no, please make me stay with you. And when they leave, Xena's like, come on, dummy.
Yeah.
That was rough.
But in a cute way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They have some good material together this episode.
I mean, they do. But at the end of the day,
verbal abuse.
That's a little bit.
You think she lost the bet right then and there?
Yeah. Or It's just unfortunate phrase for jockster, even though it's true, but yes. So as Gab's washing off Argo, she's like,
oh my God, yes. Yes. I thought this stuff was really funny. I laughed.
We're talking to herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like so mad. She's talking to herself. Well, she's talking to Argo about
She
how
also
much...
has a dig-in about Joxer here. Pretty mean one.
Yeah, she does. Yeah. She's like, does she think I'm like Joxer? And then she's also like, Xena doesn't do any cleaning. Have you smelled her feet lately? That's really gross.
That was gross, but I kind of loved it because it's something we've talked about in the past, that they must smell really bad.
They must.
They don't bathe all that often. And they're always really excited when it's time to bathe, which means they don't bathe all that often.
And like, I have a note later on about like, there's a really great close-up of, you know, her boots, which I love, but like maybe they make her feet stink real bad.
It's probably hard to breathe in those.
Yeah. Plus that she was just thinking about this. It's funny. I like it.
Okay, so we have a sound effect, and then we see Gabs' horrified face, and it's revealed that Argo is now small.
What?
The water,
heck?
right?
Right, because she's been like taking water from the stream and like bathing Argo with it.
Argo. And the water shrinks
So the water,
her to the size of a cute little pony.
So cute.
Yeah, so it's like literally like mini me, but Argo.
I saw people on Whoosh speculating that the entire like premise of this episode happened when somebody saw a little pony that looked just like
I believe it.
and they were like, let's do an episode with Lil Shrunk and Argo.
I love that.
Oh.
So then you cut back to Aphrodite being like, what the fuck? What's the big deal? So the horse is small.
Yeah, she does not care for
Doesn't
animals,
get
apparently.
it. And then Gabs is like, are you kidding me? Like, Xena fucking loves that horse. She is a little aggressive in her reaction there, so Aphrodite writes, patient is hostile and insecure, possibly masking some latent tendencies. What does she mean by that? First of all,
Chris Manheim. I love Gabrielle's reaction to this. It's kind of indescribable. It's just, she's angry, but she's also like been seen. And
she has.
I feel like she's suddenly like scrambling a bit, like, oh no.
And I think she's also like suddenly like, where did you learn such big words? Like, what the fuck? You know, maybe seeing Aphrodite in a new light.
Ooh.
It was a surprising little moment. And then Aphrodite responds with, honey, don't let the blonde hair fool you. Although bombastic forms of circumlocution should be generally avoided, one mustn't shy away from big words in the right context and have a Romeo and Michelle day.
Oh my god.
Zig!
Holy shit. Yes, that made me think of that so hard.
Oh, if you haven't seen Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion, you should definitely check that out.
Specifically, obviously, when Lisa Kudrow recites the formula for glue.
Yep. The viscosity. Okay, so Gabs goes back to the story. So it turns out she bathed Argo with waters from the sacred spring of Lachrymose, our word of the episode. And
what does it mean?
The god of despair.
Ah.
He's a womp womp dude.
Yeah.
I only know the word lachrymose in the famous music, the Lacrimosa, which is like an elegy of sad.
There you go. He's very sad. He's when I first saw him, I was like, oh, he's Igor. No, what's his name?
Eeyore.
Eeyore.
Eeyore is a different.
He's Eeyore personified.
Like by a stream even.
He literally looks like him too, like the way that he has like this weird hair, like his face. He droops, he's very sad. He's he's a bummer.
Yeah.
Aww. He's fun in this episode.
I agree. The way he listens to people tell stories is like me watching TV.
Oh my god.
I'm like, but does it get worse?
Oh my god.
Does it get worse?
That's true.
Does it get worse?
He's like your avatar.
He is me.
So he like clears off this like big rock that was just covered in dirt, and he's like, look, see, this is my sacred spring. It says proper near Lachrymose.
Yeah.
And she was like, that's really kind of hard to see.
Yeah.
But he won't give on this at all. Like, this is what's going on.
While this is happening, we keep cutting back to these reaction shots of Argo. And you know I'm weak for reaction shots of animals, and especially when those animals have been turned into cute little ponies. So I love these.
Oh, when he, like, materializes and stuff, because he's, like, made of sad river tears or
Yeah,
whatever,
I guess
so he has
so,
that, like,
yeah.
watery effect. Totally reminded me of Alex Mack. Do you remember? On
Yes!
the 90s television.
Oh my
I remember the
God.
90s,
I was
but
so
not
into
Alex
Alex
Mack.
Mack.
Secret World of Alex Mack on
Yes.
Nickelodeon, and she would turn into, like, weird
Goo.
silvery
Yeah.
water. It looked similar, so it reminded me of that effect. I wonder if it was a similar effect, like actual effect.
Lachrymose is played by an actor called John Gadsby, who's a Kiwi comedian.
Oh, that's funny that he was so not
Yeah,
into...
hates funny
comedy.
things.
Yeah.
Do
So-
hire comedians for drama.
He
It's always good.
he refuses to change Argo back, and Gabs is like, this horse belongs to Xena. Do you know who she is? And he doesn't. He's like, she's killed thousands of men, and in the mood she's in right now,
of describing her, Gabrielle.
she'll not think it's funny. I think it's hilarious.
incorrect.
It's not incorrect.
And she just says it so like, she's just killed thousands of
Okay.
men, and it's so true, man. I mean,
and that is a good way of trying
remember Chin?
to get
That's
her,
thousands
her
of
way.
men.
I feel like whenever Gabs needs to like speak to a manager in a shop that's giving her trouble, that's probably what she says.
My girlfriend just killed thousands of men.
Men.
Give me the best deal. Yeah. So she says that Xena will not think this is funny, and Lachrymose is like, "What is a funny?" Because he's never.
Oh yeah, I love this exchange.
He's
This is
never
really
laughed
funny.
or kidded in his life.
Well, yeah, I've never laughed in my whole life. You're kidding. I wish I was. I've never done that either. That was a good. I laughed at that.
So Gabs makes another bet, and she's like, "If I can make you laugh, then you gotta change Argo back." So she.
There's a part
There's
in
a lot
here.
of bets.
Yeah,
There's
too
a part
many
in
bets.
here where I'm sorry if I
That's
interrupted you right
okay.
before you're about to say it, because it's right here in this moment where she does that thing again where she says to the guy, "Don't underestimate me." Xena does that.
Oh yeah.
She's
Ooh.
still
Salty a little bit.
salty about
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah. So the succession of these issues didn't get resolved. Gasp.
So she starts off by recounting in sickness and in
Oh
hell.
my god, I love that this is her first try.
Yep.
Is the episode we do not find funny at all. Gabrielle.
Well, her fighting the bunny.
Which
So,
admittedly is the funniest part of that
Yeah.
deeply unfunny episode.
and she ends it with this like, but it's funny now, but at the time I was just a big carrot stick.
No.
It's really bad.
No, very
Yeah.
bad.
And then Lachrymose throws her such shade. He's just like, that's it.
Yeah, because he's
'Cause
right.
it's in sickness and in hell. He knows she's underselling him massively. This is the best she got.
Meanwhile, Xena and Jaxer are eating lunch.
Yes.
And they're in the tavern,
I like
and
this.
they're basically seated right next to a crying baby. So it's like that nightmare scenario from an airplane is happening right there. This baby is just crying his little head off. I would say this is like the best moment for Lucy Lawless
Oh my
in this
god,
episode.
it is.
So
it
good.
is.
I mean,
Can you imitate it?
I mean, well, there's a lot with her face
That's
too.
true.
But she basically turns to the baby and she's like,
Oh, that's the noise.
Gucci, Gucci, Goo.
Even before the Gucci Gucci Goo to me, like
Going
the,
like, just to a baby, even just like getting the attention of a baby with a it's hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
So that baby is just like, what the fuck just happened to me? And just kind of like stops crying immediately.
Yeah.
Stares
Which
at
you
her.
think was a good happening.
Yeah.
That's true. I feel like she did it good.
But Xena says that she scared that baby mute. And I like the mother being like, oh, did that mean old warrior princess scare you?
There's a lot of good ADR this episode.
I mean, that was a line. Like, you could see her saying
Oh,
that.
you did?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize
but
that.
later on, you're
But the
right.
point
there is,
stands.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. There's just a lot of really good random lines. So, yeah, Xena starts freaking out at what kind of mother she'll be because she just scared that baby, like,
Yeah.
shitless.
Yeah, I like all this.
I think
She
it's
gets really
Shitful that baby
Probably.
poops. Okay, well, the mother certainly did not go change the diaper.
I mean, it's a lot of comedy, but it's like really deep stuff she's like
But
talking about.
she
throughout
has
the
a point
episode.
here, right here, where she's like,
Yeah.
what kind of mother will I be? And
Yeah.
goes into a flashback of throwing King Gregor's baby in the air. Yeah. That's true. That was kind of
Baby
irresponsible.
throwing used to be a big thing in Xena. Yeah, I mean, I love whenever Xena uses the comedies, to talk about serious issues in a way that actually isn't just doing lip service to the issue. Looking at you, Animal Attraction, which failed at all of this. But like this one, kind of gently lets Xena work through some stuff about motherhood, and I buy it.
Sure, yeah.
Jocks are super nice to her.
He is. I mean, he's nice to her throughout the whole thing.
I know.
It's great.
It's really good. Like, because he said that she's great with kids, but then, like, he ends this clip show with saying that, like, her methods may be unorthodox, but still full of love and concern.
Yeah, that's so well put.
Which is, like, she wasn't, like, I am just being nonchalant with this baby that I'm throwing up in the air. She was trying to protect the baby.
And the baby loved every minute of it.
So then Gabs is trying another clip.
She's
here.
talking about a different baby.
Yeah.
Baby Bliss.
Baby Bliss, that little rascal.
We're coming up to my favorite line in the episode.
Oh my god.
I lie.
You better say
my
it.
favorite, but yeah.
So this is a clip from comedy of Eros because Chris Mannheim wants to remind you that sometimes she's problematic.
Oh, I do like the genre. We're not at there yet. Wait,
Yeah,
pause.
it is. We
Okay,
are.
cut out.
No,
I lost my place. Okay,
it's
cut
fine.
It. It's fine.
It's gonna stay. It's all right.
Keep it in.
So Lacrimosa doesn't think that's funny either, and Gabrielle is like, "Well, we just need to figure out what kind of sense of humor you like.
Yes.
Slapstick." And then we see some like examples of this via clips.
Yes, I like the genres clip show.
Right.
Yeah, and then it's like a good chase sequence because those are funny.
Action.
Question mark?
She went to action.
That is weird. Yeah. I feel like they ran out of comedy genres, which is surprising because I do feel like Xena actually covers a whole range.
Okay, this is where your favorite
that would
line
make
is.
him giggle. Like maybe he likes a car chase, like how I laugh my way through scary movies. Like maybe they should just shown him fucking Hereditary.
Oh my god!
Like
that comedy hit of the year
recently, where I just you don't know what genre is going to make somebody laugh their head off.
Any action like chasing involves like a car slamming into like a cart.
I mean, on Xena, you always have that one person who's going to fall over the fruit table.
The fruit table and the big cheese, the big circle cheese.
The wheels of cheese.
Goes
yeah,
rolling.
that's good. That's good
that
comedy
always
value.
happens.
I don't mean to be having a private conversation with myself over here, but I just need to clarify that, like, by laugh my way through Hereditary, it was scary as fuck. And that's why I was laughing. And
go
it was
see
really,
Hereditary.
really good. And
Go
I did the
see it,
same thing through
and then come back and watch Romeo and Michelle.
When I'm nervous, I laugh. So maybe Lacrimosa has the same problem, was my point.
So her chase sequence example is like that time we went to India. Cue Katie's favorite line.
I don't get that place.
Oh my god.
Put that coin in.
Yeah, Gabrielle.
It was
what the fuck?
It was a clip of the flying carpet
this
chase.
Is her literally being honest for the first time about her relationship with India.
Yeah.
She did not understand the place, but was pretending like she did.
Oh man. Well, it was the flying carpet, part. And it was weird. She got scooped up and put into a carpet. That was weird.
That was different than usual. Yeah, but here she's about to get tiny. She doesn't know that. Like, she just saw a tiny horse get tiny.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
That was all right for her.
I just found that to be quite a statement.
I also thought maybe that's India's way of rolling out the red carpet.
That was also bad.
Man.
Also
pretty gross.
Pretty
that was the punchline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grown.
Okay, and then she goes, romantic comedy?
Okay, this one I thought was even more problematic than India.
Because it was so heterosexual.
Not even. I will summarize it. First, we get comedy of Eros. Gabs is in danger of being raped by Draco. Then we get warrior princess Trab Jocks are sexually harassing Xena.
Yeah.
Then Fins and Femmes. Addis is threatening to rape Gabrielle.
Yep.
These are romantic comedies, according to Chris Manheim. Let that sink in.
Did she pick the
Let
clips
that
in her?
sink in. That's true. I don't know if she picked the clips, but whoever did, you're getting a coin, buddy.
I don't think we should put the blame on her because
my
we don't
God.
know who edited the clips together.
Robert Field.
Yeah,
We're
maybe.
coming for you, bro.
So Aphrodite interrupts at that and says that Gabs should tell Lacrimose something sexier. Because, you know, he's a man after all. And so Gabs turns towards the camera, like she's lying on that little couch, and now she's facing the camera. And she's like, I tried that.
Okay, so this is the weird. Number one, I have so many fucking questions. Number one, is there a cutscene where she's like trying to sex appeal at Lacrimose?
Oh, I'm really glad we didn't have to see that.
Number two. Then if it's the intro into the clip show where it's like she means a broad scale. I've tried that in the past. My first reaction was like, I don't know. And then the whole clip show is not her.
Well, the
For
Go-Go's.
the most part. The
Go-Go's.
Go-Go's, but they're not. They're like weird clone hers. They're not like
That's true.
Yeah.
her. So, and it's like, yeah, it's
Like
we're gonna get like Autolycus memories.
Right. Oh,
stuff.
but this prompts me to go, like, how does she know, like, Xena's part of this story? Like, she's not there. She's dealing with the horse, and yet she's, like, recounting to Aphrodite what happened as if she knows exactly what
That's a
happened.
good point. Yeah, the point of view of this whole episode is a little busted.
I mean, I
Yeah.
guess, like, later Xena could have filled her
Then
in as
again,
always, but...
every episode you've seen is based on a scroll, and lots of scenes Gabrielle isn't involved in, so she must.
That's true. So, like, you're saying that she came up with Gucci Gucci Girl.
Yeah, of course.
She goes, somebody would turn to a baby and go, hey.
That's a good point. Maybe we shouldn't trust anything in any of the parts with Xena and Joxer.
Oh, that means
a
she's
reliable
writing,
narrator here.
she's writing Joxer to be nice, then. If
That's
it's
true.
fakery, I don't know. Well, anyway, when she turns to the camera to do all the sexy clips.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Because she's writing the whole show, she's always writing stuff
Okay.
constantly.
This
that she's
is
not
too much
in.
for my little brain
I know,
to handle.
I don't mean to
I can't do
explode
it.
the
I can't do
meta,
it.
but-
I can't. I'm gonna focus on what I can process, which is that when
We'll
she
bring it
turns to
back
the
later.
camera, Aphrodite checks out her butt for sure. So all these sexy clips also prompt Aphrodite to, change into like a slumber party mode. So that
I love slumber party mode.
She changes outfits. There's some like balloons in the air, like bubbles. And then she gets on that little bed with Gabs.
I love her pigtails. It's a good look.
Slumber party mode is the only way to talk about sex.
Right? And then she offers to pierce her ear. Double
So you do
entendre.
it slumber party.
I'm reaching here. I'm reaching here.
I'll take
I'm
it.
reaching.
I'll take it. So Aphrodite magics away the slumber party, and I love how this is done. There's a close-up of a bubble bursting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Cut out
It was
to
like
the
a
wide
slow-mo, like, yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that too.
Everything is gone except for the outfits, the matching pink outfits. And it seems especially flirtatious that she's changed Gabrielle's outfit.
Oh, yeah.
And it matches hers.
Mhm, and they're sitting together, very close.
And she leaves the pigtails, which I'm happy about. This is, I think, a really interesting conversation that Gabs and Aphrodite have about her writing.
And her artistic impulse.
She says that, like, this thing she's doing now with Aphrodite, this storytelling, is sort of like writing, but, like, the difference is that in writing, you're talking to yourself, and it's a way you can work things out. So that, like, she is sort of saying that in the past she's used her writing to work things out
Like
about
a journaling.
her identity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then goes on to then state, of course, now I know exactly who I am.
Sure.
Which, oh, baby girl. Not yet. But yeah, I really like that too. And then I really loved what was I think, really genuinely great kind of shipping moment where Gabrielle appreciates that Aphrodite understands what she's saying by comparing it to fashion. Mm-hmm. I loved that.
Yeah. I admit I wasn't 100% sure whether Gabs was being sincere?
I think she was sincere.
You think so?
I think so. I think she's like, I'm glad you get it. Like,
I was like, fashion isn't art. I hope Gabs can see that.
Yeah, even if she like isn't fully on board, I think she appreciated the effort at least. If in fact she didn't understand it on that level, but I think she might. It's
pretty clear she does. That's why she's so helpful to Gabrielle. Is you feel like these are two creatives who can kind of see on the same level.
Yeah. Ooh, there's also like a good line at the end of this scene where Gabrielle says that Xena and I are best friends. They're
the way of friendship.
The way of friendship. And then says there aren't any secrets between us, which is nice as a sentiment, but I feel like she knows that that's not true.
Right. I mean, so does Aphrodite because she's immediately like, you stalled, huh?
Yeah, that's right. So she does not tell Xena about the horse immediately, and Xena and Jaxer are still in the, baby crying nightmare land. Xena is freaking out, and she wants Jaxer to pay.
Oh, this was such a weird moment.
But he has no money because Gabrielle took it all. Why did she need money to go water horses?
I don't know why she took their money.
This is a first in that Jaxer doesn't have the money.
But he did.
But he did.
Took her. She took his money.
He carried the fucking money
because
again.
Maybe she finally understood that this was like really weird. That for some reason Jaxer always has control of the money.
I don't know. So they go off to get Gabrielle. Did they just dine and dash? That's the question.
For sure.
And then before that, when they're leaving, that dude comes in.
Yeah, they literally run into a goon, and he's that guy from If the Shoe Fits.
Mm-hmm. He's always a delight.
Yeah, he's great here too.
I love the sound design in the scene of the baby that won't stop crying.
Yeah.
Just constantly being there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just really like that. And the episode that's like about, Xena and her worries and stuff.
Yeah.
But there's this idea of like a baby being present and a baby being present like on this show, which, you know what I mean? Like to have this baby constantly crying in the background is interesting and a fun sound design choice. But yeah, so they run into fun goon man.
Yes.
And
his name is Blutos.
That's the goon's name?
His real name is Blutos.
Yeah. I was like, that there could be a last name like John Blutos.
Chris Ryan is the actor. He plays Blutos, the drunken goon.
Oh, I think he's the goon who won't quit.
Well, he does some Princess Briding.
He's great. Does. Yeah. So, you should say the line then.
Oh, he's like, "Are you Xena or whatever?" I forget, but I don't know. And then, but I forget now, because I don't know his brother's name.
Yeah,
so I can't say Tagar. Yes, Tagar was my brother. Prepare to die.
I like that they get so much play out of the saloon doors, which they clearly built for Animal Attraction. And are still here.
Yep.
They use some of the music from Animal Attraction too, the Western music.
I mean,
there's a guy who's a Western guy who later comes
in. So they're, I guess,
connected.
They're close to whatever that town's name was.
Yeah. So, like, whenever this guy attacks...
Spumona!
You're welcome.
Oh, my God.
Good job.
I remember it because we had that Spumoni discussion.
Yes,
oh, right.
That's exactly right.
So, whenever this guy comes to attack Xena, she just, like, easily, disposes of him because he's drunk always. So she just kind of, like, flicks him away. Then Gabs walks in.
Oh, I loved that. This was another, I just thought, really gorgeous comedy writing and directing.
Yes.
The way they deliver these lines is hysterical.
This is another one of my favorite lines.
Yeah, Gabs is like, what's with him? And Xena's sort of stony face says, family problems. And then even more stony faced from Ted, Jaxer says, I blame the parents. It's really funny and strange.
Yeah, she's also like, she's still clearly trying not to lose the bet.
Yeah,
she's trying not to
she's trying to mask her anger.
Like, how was your dinner? And she's like, a little too much salt. Good. Also good.
So Gabs tells him to just meet her at the spring later.
She goes back and Argo is missing.
Yeah.
She's missing.
Yeah, Lacrimose is like, what? She just wandered up, whatever. Okay, so then we come back to Aphrodite, and she just goes, so you shrunk her horse, and then you lost him. So what? So she misgenders Argo too, Liv. You're not alone.
That's right. Oh, I'm glad me and Aphrodite share this trait.
And Gab's like, do you know how important Argo is to Xena. And then we have, like, all these Argo flashbacks.
And a little bit of a callback to the competition that used to exist between them. She says, sometimes I think she likes that horse more than she likes me. That's, you know, some greater good realness.
Argo clip show.
Yep. And then...
My favorite part of the Argo clip show is, so it ends with Gab saying something like, oh, you know, Argo saved Xena's life so many times. But the clip you see is from the execution of Xena using Argo to save Gabrielle's life.
Aww.
So actually it totally undermines her argument. You see that Argo loves her too. Argo helps.
Well, she's, I feel like, still gonna go into some more Argo clips, but she hears some, like, splish splashing, and she turns, and Aphrodite's, like, full on in a bath. She's like, because animals are gross, right? But I don't think that's the reason. She's like, man, we gotta speed things along.
That is definitely not the reason.
She infuses the bubbles with a little essence of white chocolate and says, haven't you heard that chocolate's an aphrodisiac?
And it's working, because Gabrielle's sort of, like, inching towards the tub.
It's one of my little secrets.
This can totally be cut out if it makes me sound really stupid, but, like, white chocolate is not chocolate, right?
I think it's not, right? We all don't know.
I know it's sugar.
Yeah, it's like
It's like
not
a lot of
real.
sugar.
Not chocolate?
It's not real chocolate. I think.
Listeners, let us know. Is white chocolate chocolate?
Send us all that white chocolate.
No, please don't.
Yeah, please don't. No. So that's one of her little secrets. And my note just says, alert, alert. This is very gay.
Putting this aphrodisiac in this tub.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, but you want your own tub. But that was just to be nice.
Yeah, to be nice.
To be nice.
Yeah.
But clearly she's saying either you get in this tub with me or you get your own tub. Either way, you're going in a tub.
But you know, put that chocolate smell in there, and Gabs walked right over.
I mean, Gabs is very into hot tubs.
Yeah, well, she knows. Well, she's more interested in continuing the story a little bit.
I love that her segue is just, oh, anyway, which is the most, like, I don't know how to respond to this, but I know it's a seduction. Oh, anyway.
Oh, man. So it's like a little shopping moment.
I love this whole set. I thought this was really well done.
It's an ancient Greek supermarket.
It kind of reminded me of King Khan, where we had the ancient Greek casino.
Oh, yeah.
But I thought this was funnier.
Yeah, this was funny.
It had a lot of details. Like, the more you see of it, the funnier it got.
This is my new, I don't know, I feel like I need like a name for it, like hypocrisy corner, where like the anachronism jokes, whether I like them or not, and I like all these.
Yeah, I mean,
these are great.
Part of it is this is just such a silly episode that this, you know, how can you get up in arms about this? And when you hear like over the loudspeaker "clean up" in aisle 7, you're just like,
God, yeah.
That's the kind of stuff I mean. Like, I feel like the one time I said something really anti a joke,
and you need to clean them.
Yeah, and it could have not been a loudspeaker. It was a guy going "clean up,"
but it was definitely a loudspeaker. But it's like, like, what's the difference with that versus like, I hate long flights? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that's like a grown joke, and we hate it. But
really, there were no airplanes, but shopping existed.
Right.
Shopping
so what does it look like?
Yeah,
so why not
casinos
like
existed.
We
like,
almost
like
never
that.
see them. They talk about supplies a lot.
Yeah.
You almost never see them actually shop for them.
Right.
Like,
So it's funny that
Daily
they're actually like,
supplies.
here's my, here's the food shopping.
Right.
They're like grabbing the wheat.
Oh, I have their whole shopping list.
Oh,
Okay,
let's hear it.
Yeah,
Give it.
they throughout the sequence get peanuts, pickled eggs, castor oil, prunes. What's life like without prunes? A sack of flour, bag of wheat. She finds that. That's everything.
Castor oil might be a reference back to.
No, I know, but like she's like, we always have to have castor oil in case my soul gets stuck in a little kid's soul again. Like, that's really funny. Oh man. So, and while that's happening, Gabs is chasing after Argo.
Yeah, and this is a funny chase scene because Argo is so little that like you can't see her. As she
That
goes
was the
through
weirdest.
aisle.
I actually found that
Why
strange.
was she looking for Argo in the shelves? Like, she was looking up, going, Argo, and literally they touch butts at one point.
I did not understand.
She
It
goes,
was really weird.
me.
I thought maybe Lacrimose had put some kind of invisibility spell on Argo.
You're reaching.
That was so weird.
That was to get that little joke. I laughed at it, like the excuse me, but
I don't think it worked.
it did not work at all.
It did not work. They could not figure out a way for her to like miss the pony in front of her face.
And Xena runs into the goon again.
Blutos.
I will never remember how
I
to
call
say
him Vendetta Goon if that
Vendetta goon.
makes you happier.
Yeah, she runs into him again, and they fight, and she knocks him out again, and then she starts worrying about like her kid dealing with like annoying shit.
This is
like
so
this
unmotivated.
guy,
It's
but really she
hysterical.
puts it at like giants.
Yeah, she's mostly worried about
And
giants.
she hasn't fucking encountered a giant in like forever.
But it's a great excuse for us to see The Titans, everybody's favorite episode, Sins of the Past, the giant from that, and A Day in the Life. But Jox was like, giants are the least of your problems. Yeah. And then introduces some dryads from Girls Just Want to Have Fun, some harpies from Mortal Beloved, the Buckeye also from Girls Just Want to Have Fun. And then he lists some other stuff
Just
that they could
old
contend
time
with.
Problem.
Pestilence, disease, foot rot, and misery.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh God, don't show it, please don't show the insickness and Halcliffe. Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it.
Yeah.
And they don't. Thank God.
We were spared. Yeah,
But I
Thank
just
God.
enjoyed it as a list of things that are shitty.
yeah.
Life is suffering, especially in ancient Greece.
But then he says like the nicest thing, which is, you know what, Xena? That kid's got something he couldn't get anywhere else. She's like, what? He's like, you. And then we're all like, oh, yeah.
She attacks his head.
Oh my God, this was the weirdest hand gesture. The way she pets his
Yeah.
head was so weird.
Yeah. It's just very, I don't know, clingy.
Yeah.
Clinging to the nicety.
I guess so. And then slightly awkward. It felt slightly like she was punishing him even as she cuddled him.
Okay, so Gabs and Argo, she finally finds Argo because it's like, whoa, not hard to fucking see a little pony in the aisles of a fucking supermarket.
It's so weird.
And Lacrimose shows up and he's like, hey, remember our deal? And she's like, can you just fucking like make this horse normal? Like no one can ride this horse this small. And he's like, wanna bet? And he makes her small.
And way too small to
Like,
ride that
way too
horse.
small. Like, way too small.
She
Like,
cannot ride that horse now.
She cannot. And then there's like this whole sequence of like, oh my God, the horse is so giant. Gabs is so small. Horse is gonna like, trample her.
I love the way this was realized. I love the shots like from down low, looking up at the big pony, and they clearly built a section of the supermarket aisle really big and shot Renee O'Connor against it. And I thought this all worked very well.
Yeah,
they good special effects.
And she's like trying to grab like the reins. So she's always holding these giant like reins. It's really cute. Yeah.
I like a movie where people are small, like Honey, I Shrunk the Kid.
Yeah, I mean, this is clearly a
weak
reference.
for Honey, I Shrunk the Kid.
Good times.
And
Had
what is
by
the
all.
sequel called? Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good too.
Kerry Russell is in that.
Oh, that's a weird fact.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So Xena and Jax are checking out with the cashier, and Xena's like munching on a turnip.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah. And she's convincing herself that she needs to, remain calm for the baby, and she wants to do what's best. And again, Josh says, if anyone can love and protect that kid, it's you.
This is a lot of pep talking. I was getting a little impatient
Too
with
much?
the amount of pepping that needed to happen here.
Well, Joxer hugs Xena, and then, I think she hugs him.
Mm-hmm.
And then he notices the tiny little Gabs and Argo.
Oh my God, and it's just such a funny visual because like her like tiny Gabs leading this like giant seeming pony away. It's just so strange and like absurdist humor.
Yeah. They still need eggs, so Jack's like, I'll get the eggs, and you check out. And so when she's left alone, I thought it was really funny because this is a funny moment with the shopkeeper. Like, you don't really like see him, I feel like. You just hear him. He goes, first you buy it, then you eat it, referring to her and the turnip. Mm-hmm. So she takes it out of her mouth and puts it down. And he's like, oh, that's pretty.
Good
I thought that was
ADR.
really, really funny.
Yeah.
So then we have Joxer being his usual problematic self.
I like this part. I like Joxer and Lil Pal.
No.
That made me laugh so hard. You can be my sister now. Joxer and Lil Pal. And it is like a gigantic knife falls. And like, she's like, "Wah!" Because like this massive knife is falling.
It's his tiny dagger.
That was my favorite other thing, like, because she has that, tiny voice that, like, when she was going to get crushed by Argo, she was just like, "Oh, I'm going to die." Like, all these really funny things.
Are you trying to kill me?
Yeah.
I like Joxer and Lil Pal.
I thought it was nice that he immediately accepts her.
That's true, but also seems to want to exploit her for commercial gain.
I know, but
for the circus act, you mean?
It's funny and I don't care.
What do you call her, like a freak?
Yeah, circus freak. It's bad.
Yeah. Did you put the coin in?
It's bad. But Lil Pal is funny.
Lil Pal is
funny.
I
just like the phrase, Joxer and Lil Pal.
Talk about how she bit his finger.
Oh, right. And like hangs off of it?
And hangs off of it. That was some Looney Tunes nonsense. I see why you skipped over it, Vera, but to me it's important because like they did that.
They did that. Yup. I don't want to talk about it anymore. So now we have Joxer kind of talking to Lachrymose, and he tells him the story of his childhood via silent film.
This is D.W. Griffith. Intolerance.
Oh.
Whoa.
Very serious, epic film.
Okay.
Do you think this is a real story?
Why? I don't know. That's a good question.
His backstory? Yeah, I don't know, because to me...
It's not what we know of it.
Yeah, it's not what we know.
He made it, like, I mean, it's, to me...
He's talked about his parents as if they're alive.
Right?
His dad is in jail with Jace.
Right.
Yeah.
They're, like, literally in jail together.
Oh,
so
man.
he makes up this
He makes it up
story.
I guess so.
To work with the clips that they had. That's kind of it.
The clips that they have are there to support his crazy story.
So basically, he says that his dad was like a drunk and he drove the chariot while being drunk, and one time he just crashed it, and then like the mom got like arrowed to death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was dark.
Yeah, and this is where Lachrymose is like, "Oh my God, tell me more," and he starts giving him like an unprompted back rub.
Yeah, a little gay.
A little like me too. Like he didn't ask for that.
Ooh, that's a good point. You're
and
right.
he's a god, so like that's you know very problematic for there.
This is a callback, I think, to Xena Scrolls, where you have Joxer talking about his past, and you get clips again from silent movies. You see some mummies and I think some vampires. There was also a clip from, I believe, a silent film of Hercules, and I don't remember what episode used
Not
it.
this.
No, I don't remember where that came
Hercules was in what's
Bards?
it? Bards, yeah.
Was that Bards?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it was.
Well, that wasn't silent, was it?
No.
I don't know.
But
I don't know
like
what I'm thinking
they
of.
didn't.
There've been so many Xenas
There's
that we've
people
talked
talking.
about.
Like there's always somebody talking over
Yeah.
these clips, so it's even if it is.
So this is a fun salute, as always, to kind of Ren Pix's obsession with film history, and a fun little way of using that in a clip show. And the baby is very cute.
So we cut back to Aphrodite in the bath. She's musing at how Gabs thought Joxer could help. And so we have like Gabs then go into a bunch of clips of Joxer.
You think they're going to be clips of Joxer helping, but they're not.
They're just Joxer being there.
We actually can probably come up with like 4 or 5 clips of Joxer helping.
It's just Joxer
I
being
know.
there.
I thought there were going to be like genuine bits where he like did come through for them, which he has done several times actually.
Yeah, but I mean it ends with Gabrielle saying that Joxer is a loyal friend and a good traveling companion in a genuine way, I thought.
Yeah,
And Aphrodite loves him too. She says, "I love the poor dope."
Yeah. And then she like squirts Gabs with some water.
That's the best part.
Yeah,
She is
best
so
part of the
excited about
whole
that.
episode.
She
I
keeps
would say
trying to do it again and can't.
Yeah, yep.
It's like some kind of accident the first time.
Oh, Aphrodite, we see you. We see right through you.
So meanwhile, Xena is feeling gassy, And
she's like lying in her own filth.
She's gross.
It's pretty horrible.
It's really nasty.
What?
Yeah.
She's just passed out on these like sacks of something, and you just see all the like food she's half eaten, just lying around her.
Yeah, she gets up and she's like, "Clean this up, will you?" To this like whatever guy who was there, and then she leaves and farts as she leaves.
Yeah.
And that the goon, Vendetta goon, is still after her. And she takes him out again with the tavern doors.
She doesn't feel good.
She ate all this weird shit. So she plants her foot on his spine, and that's where you see that awesome close-up of her boots, and I fucking love it. She's in the tavern to look for Joxer, and this is maybe my favorite part. This is a funny episode gag. Where she goes, "Anyone seen a guy in a pointy hat?" And then you get this fucking reaction shots of like, I guess the pointy hat convention is in town. Because there's all these dudes in fucking pointy hats.
Yeah. And they're really offended at being referred to that way. So I guess my question is, how would they like to be referred to?
I don't know. Probably by their official D&D titles. So Xena then complains, like, she's like, there's no Gabs, there's no Joxer. I'm going to finally call my one true loyal friend. And whistles for Argo. And here she comes. Little Argo enters the tavern. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the reveal is so sweet. How she comes through the saloon doors.
She's like pushes little doors with her little head. It's so cute.
And then Xena's reaction is so over the top.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
It's good. It's good though.
She's just like, like the eyes are popping, the mouth is dropping.
But this was like my favorite, maybe like use of the clip show because it goes into every moment. Xena was like
monster.
Not like nutty crazy
your
monster.
Favorites.
Like I hate it, but it's so funny in this moment.
The bet is over.
It's such an overreaction to like see a little horse.
It's like basically
Gabrielle.
Like basically she has like steam coming out of her ears, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
She's so mad.
You get bunny teeth from Paradise Found. You get vampire Buckeye from Girls Just Want to Have Fun. You get problematic Collie from The Way, and you get Devil from
And she's
Fallen
like
Angel.
laughing in that clip. She's like, okay. So, meanwhile, Gabs, is like trying to run away from Lacrimose. He, I guess, wants to kill her.
This is so weird. I was like, when did this get established?
I agree.
There was to like catch her.
There was something missing from this beat in the narrative.
I think he wants to like murder her. It's really weird.
I don't understand what happened here.
So yeah,
I do love how Joxer refers to her as lacrimose intolerant.
Oh my god,
I like that.
Giggle snort.
Well.
I liked it.
And so she's like running away into the grass, and Joxer goes, "Oh well, if you make her big, she'll be easier to catch."
Good idea.
Yeah, and Lacrimose was like, "Oh, perfect," because like he was really having a hard time like finding her. So he makes her big again. Yay, Gabs.
She looks like a giant. I thought for
a
second that he made her extra
Honey,
big.
I blew up the kid.
Yeah, but he didn't. It was just the way they filmed it.
But he's gonna like murder her. He like lifts his arms to like do some kind of murdering thing, and she just throws her sai at him and like catches like the sleeves against a tree, so he's trapped. Oh no! So her and Joxer run away.
So then back to the tavern we go, where Xena is screaming, Gabrielle!
Yeah, you have a whole crane up and a scream.
Yeah,
that's like reserved
intense.
for intensity.
And I should say that there's some great ADR in the background of this scene too.
Because the guys in the pointy hats reacting to
the little horse. They're like, stray dog. Looks like a dog with a horse head on it.
Am I supposed to add water?
Yeah, it's really good.
So wacky.
So Gabs and Joxer run in, and Gabs explains that they just need to make Lacrimose laugh, and Argo will be back to normal. Goon who won't quit gets up.
Vendetta goon.
Tries again to attack.
But
Xena sends him flying into a tray of cream pies.
Pies.
Pies. They are coming.
What's gonna happen?
So she grabs two more. So like at this moment, there's a guy with a tray walking around with a bunch of pies on it too. Like he's just like, here's I got all these
there
pies.
must be a pointy hat convention and a pie convention going on simultaneously in this tavern.
Whoa. Okay, that makes so much sense. So Xena grabs two more of these pies, and she gets Gabs right in the face with it. and she like positions Joxer to throw another one like at Joxer, but he ducks and it hits the guy that is like in charge of the pointy hats. And, you know, we find out that his name is Bob because one of the other pointy hats goes, "Hey, she hit Bob." You bastard!
So good. I really like this episode. She also got in a good "I'm not mad. I'm just very, very disappointed."
SMH. Oh, man. Okay, so then Bob throws a pie at Gabrielle, and everyone starts throwing pies, and it's a pie fight.
Hey,
a pie for all.
And I like that the subtitles say, "Goofy music playing," because that's exactly the kind of music that starts playing.
How do you feel about a big pie fight?
It's a huge pie fight. How do we feel about it, guys?
This is, to leap ahead slightly, if you don't mind, this is going to be the punchline of the episode, which is that of all the silliness in the history of Xena failed to make Lachrymose laugh. But the one thing that
he wasn't into it. He wasn't into just the pie fight happening.
That's true. He only laughs. That's a good point. He only laughs when he himself is hit by the pie. Mm-hmm. And that actually plays a lot into the history of pie fighting because it's often seen as a way of like taking down powerful people.
Oh, we looked into it.
It
started in ancient Egypt. It's that old.
Throwing pies at the pharaoh.
Yeah.
But this is it's very much about like taking the piss out of people who are self-important. Because anyone who's hit by a pie like laughs because you can't help but laugh.
I guess.
He was like, "No, I'd be so angry if there was pie in my hair."
Yeah, I would.
You would be. Yeah.
I would turn into Xena from her rage clips.
Well, it is one of the oldest forms of comedy in the cinema.
I think this is very meta because they're having Lachrymose laugh at something that is almost like the most tired comedic trope.
Right.
So the fact that this makes him laugh is meant to sort of be a meta laugh about, oh my god, pies, really?
And they kind of reference that too.
At the end,
maybe they didn't need to do that.
Things. Yeah, I agree. They didn't need to.
But yeah, like there's clips if you want to go online and like, you know, watch some pie fights in silent movies from 1909. Go for it.
In 1909, there was a silent film called Mr. Flip about a man who goes around town sexually harassing women. Yep. And then finally one of the women throws a pie in his face. Ha funny movie.
So funny. Just like the romantic comedy clips.
It's just like, princess. I mean, she took that guy down, like Harvey Weinstein.
We've come so far since 1909.
Yeah.
But some of the most famous examples, Laurel and Hardy had...
well, that's a fascinating kind of story. Yeah. Well, I think they have pie fights in more than one movie, but what's the name of it? The Great... the battle?
Yeah, the Battle of the Century.
Battle of the Century. And for a long time, the last reel of the movie was lost. And so there was all these rumors about it, and it was like a giant pie fight with like a rumored 3,000 pies or something like that in it.
Over 3,000 pies.
Wow. So like the movie just ends with, according to this article, like I haven't actually seen this film, them hitting a cop in the face or something, and the cop chasing them down the street or something like that. But there was a last reel that then continued this crazy pie situation with, a bajillion pies. And it was found.
And I thought this was so funny because the guy who found it was like, oh, this seems an important discovery, but not like that important.
Right.
So he went to a convention of film preservationists and was talking about all these things he had discovered, and just in a kind of by the by way was like, oh yeah, and I've also uncovered the lost second reel of Battle of the Century, and there was a collective gasp. Everyone in there was just like, what? And I was oh wait, is that something everybody really is missing?
They all took their pointy hats off. At that moment.
Yeah, they freaked out.
So yeah, that's a big one. Interestingly, another very famous example of lost pie fighting footage that has this sort of mythic quality is the original ending of Dr. Strangelove, which they shot. Whenever you do a pie fight, it's really hard because you have to clean it up afterwards. So they only had one take for this pie fight that ends the movie that's meant to be like this like kind of absurdist metaphor for warfare. Like, you know, rather than like launching nukes, they're like launching pies at each other, and everybody's supposed to be like really violent and into it. So they had the actors do it, and they were like smiling and laughing because pies are silly. And so Kubrick couldn't use it.
Oh, wow.
And ended the movie the more famous way.
That's probably
Probably good. I tend to think this is an apocryphal story, and he just realized that ending the movie with a pie fight was a bad idea.
That's funny.
But he lost the footage conveniently, and no one's seen it.
Interesting. What I sort of enjoyed about this reading of the history of pie fights was the idea that in silent film and silent cinema comedy, all your jokes had to be visual,
right?
Because you can't. So that was one of the things. And then it described how like if you have like a pie, and especially this one that's like, you know, if it's like a whole whipped creamy pie, that it like looks really good in black and white. And it like it's like a very like easily readable visual joke.
And it's
like
really smeared on someone's face. Yeah.
And didn't they say that like pies were like way more common back then?
I know, it's so weird now to have cream pies just sitting around. You're like, why do you have so many pies?
Every house in the neighborhood had a like pie cooling on the windowsill.
Yes, I think that's in a Norman Rockwell painting, and maybe not everybody, but yeah. And then of course Ren picks his fave, Three Stooges, which
Stooges have lots of pies.
You know, they have movies named after pies. Like they love the pies. And then this article, maybe we'll tweet it out. The history of pie fights. Also credited with Blazing Saddles with killing the pie fight.
I loved that because this is one of the only ones I've seen. Mm-hmm. So, and it's so funny, and you kind of get it in reverse. You have a pie fight that's making fun of the history of pie fights, and you're like, I don't get it. Are pie fights played out? Okay.
So it's like not funny anymore, apparently, according
I wonder if them throwing in the Western elements in this episode that we're talking about, whose name Punchlines, was a salute to Blazing Saddles.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's probably, that's very, I would imagine that would be very in the wheelhouse, absolutely.
Why was there a yogi?
just for yucks. Why was there a fat lady?
Yeah.
Because it ain't over till she sang?
But it wasn't.
But it wasn't.
They pied her.
It kept going.
Yeah, it was a lot.
So pie fights are gross. If you read about the making of this sequence, I don't think anyone... I mean, I think everyone enjoyed...
Lucy enjoyed it because she wasn't supposed to get hit.
And this is also very much...
And she doesn't in this
sequence. The pie fight tradition is that you tend to have, like, the hero character who gets out of the pie fight unscathed until the very end. There's a very famous one in The Great Race with Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon where Tony Curtis goes the whole scene without getting a pie in the face, and he's wearing this pristine white outfit, but then pie.
Bam. It's funny. This shit is kind of funny.
No. Did you laugh when it was that one guy in the pointy hat that was doing the, like, you know, cartoony, like, running in the same place? Yeah. Like, he's like
on a banana.
I mean, that was dangerous. I was upset.
That wasn't dangerous. He was hooked up in a harness.
Very Looney Tunes.
Well, like, back to how hard it is to shoot these, like, it did get really gross and unsafe, like, very quickly, because everything was so slimy.
Right.
And then, you know, you're under these bright lights, so it all goes bad really quickly.
And you said it's mashed potatoes.
So there was two sort of versions. There was like cream and mashed potato ones, and I wasn't sure if it was like the same thing.
I feel like maybe they were the same.
But there were like some reported onset injuries.
Renee,
I believe it.
So there was apparently there was a Entertainment Tonight reporter visiting the set, and he desperately wanted to be in this fight, so he was, and Lucy, who was not supposed to get hit with anything, definitely participated with the art department in throwing the pies.
Okay.
So she threw a pie at this guy. It was the mashed potato one that's been, according to her, sitting out all day, so it was very hard. And he got hit. He got a black eye from that.
Oh my god!
So I'm wondering if Renee got hit with one of these mashed potato ones too, because she got a bloody lip.
Well, I was thinking if you know, I mean, it's so imprecise. Like, can't you get clipped with like the edge of the pie? You know, the foil edge.
I mean, it's just
really hurt.
Yeah,
yeah.
I
If
guess
it's being thrown at
it's
you.
just foil, though. It's not supposed to be a pan.
But yeah, she had a bloody. She
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, it's so ridiculous that like
Yeah.
I've done so many major stunts at this point, and the thing that actually interests me is a pie in the face."
Yeah, I think it's hilarious. Yeah, I mean she's fine, obviously, but boy oh boy, there was a lot of pie throwing in this, and it was a crazy pie fight.
Did you like it, Vera?
I mean, I laughed,
Okay.
but like, do I want more episodes to have pie fights? No. Do I want more episodes to have fights on top of heads? No.
You gotta let that one go.
I will never. So one thing that was interesting is that this is slapstick, and previously she suggests slapstick to
That's like her
Lachrymose,
first suggestion.
and he doesn't get into it.
That's true, because all the slapstick involves Jaxer, who
I
I guess
guess.
he wants to fuck. He doesn't want to laugh.
I guess so, yeah. So anyway, Lachrymose in the middle of this pie fight, he shows up and he kind of like sits at a table and nothing's hitting him, and he's just like
Sad.
he's doing his bummed out thing, And then Xena notices there's a pie on the ceiling, and she chakrams the pie, and it falls on top of Lachrymose's head. And everyone's like, Bob, by the way, is like right there with two pies being
Oh my
like,
God.
oh my God.
MVP of the episode, Bob.
But Lachrymose reacts with a giggle. He laughs.
loves it.
He fucking is delighted that he got pied. And everyone like, sigh of relief.
And then Jaxer has that line, which I think maybe you guys are right, is a little too on the nose. A stupid, boring, unfunny excuse for a pie fight finally made him laugh. You must have been aiming too high the rest of the time.
That's Aphrodite.
Aphrodite.
Oh, that was
says that.
Aphrodite.
Yeah.
I didn't have it attributed.
And that's why she, has it on the nose. Because she's like, really, girl?
She's seen the all of movies.
Yeah. and she's doing this while she's getting dressed after her bath.
That's true, which I thought was just a very sexy staging to have Aphrodite putting on her clothes with Gabs
Her
kind
towel.
of just standing there watching.
But Gabs is bummed because she still has writer's block.
But she has a little self-realization here about, the interaction of writing and her new role as a protector of Xena and Xena's baby.
Well, Aphrodite suggests that the pie situation in Lachrymose got him in touch with his inner child.
Oh, that's right.
And that's what makes Gabs go, Right. And so Aphrodite inadvertently hits on
She makes Gabs have a breakthrough.
And her realization is slightly odd.
It is odd.
And her realization,
I liked it.
I mean, I like it, but I it's not that it's odd. It's just that it's another one of those things where I'm like, it doesn't feel as profound as it sounds when she's saying it. Because she says that she has been, ever since Xena got pregnant, her whole focus has been making the world a better place. That
Via
she forgot
violence.
Yeah, that she forgot
She
to
doesn't say that
have
part.
to focus on time for things that were fun for her, which is just sort of interesting because her whole character from the beginning has been I feel like making the world better, and a focus on that is sort of a thing that makes her happy. So she's now dividing that into that's my day job, and in the nighttime I like to write for fun. I did, you know what I mean?
It's
I didn't
a weird way of
really
making that divide.
Quite understand the phrasing
And
of what was going
her
on.
writing is about making the world a better place too, because it's about showing the world
I
Xena.
love
yeah.
the ultimate conclusion of that, which is that it is to write about Xena. And originally, what she said earlier, which I don't think we said, was that she described her diarying as writing about her travels with Xena, and that made her feel complete. So I understand that in the context of this speech. It was just a weird phrasing, but I love that her idea for it now is that she's not in this scene going the world will read this. She's going, Xena's baby will read this.
And figure out who he or she really is.
Yeah,
I thought that was an interesting,
good.
maybe a coded salute to the fact that Xena was so important to its audience in helping to figure out their sexuality in a lot of cases.
That's a really
Yeah,
cool read.
really, yeah, it's great. And while she's saying all of this, Aphrodite has the biggest hard eyes emoji on her face. She is just so in love.
Yes. They're the best. I can't wait till we get to the end of this fucking season. Holy shit.
We're close. We're close. I love that, like, Aphrodite's about to, like, jouer.
Oh, yeah.
And Gabs, like, stops her and is like, wait, you know, thank you. And Aphrodite's parting line is, don't thank me yet. Wait till you get my bill. And she puts little glasses on again.
That was a cute little, like, flirty line. And I really liked Gabrielle thanking her because I thought it was so genuine. And, like, they really had a progression in their relationship. Like, a huge, like, you know, if Gabs previously thought of her as just, like, this ditzy goddess, you know, now she, like, maybe there's some slight, like, respect, you know?
Yeah, she helped Gabrielle sort herself out and had a lot of actually really important insights.
Like, for no reason. Like, she just, like, I mean, she had her own reasons, but, like, whatever. Like,
but beyond those sexy reasons, she obviously really has affection and appreciation for Gabrielle. I think it's interesting that, you know, she seeks her out, you know, when Xena's asleep, but you feel like this, you know, they have a special connection.
They do,
Aphrodite doesn't have with any other mortal.
Right. Yep. It's very important, like, pins and such. Yeah. Perfect.
Gabrielle, I think previously Gabrielle had that wonderful speech to Aphrodite about what love really means and how that got through to Aphrodite. And now I feel like Aphrodite's like kind of wants to give Gabrielle that same breakthrough.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Gabrielle she gave her a breakthrough right here. Yeah. It's really great. And, this was so good. Like, Aphrodite, man. I'm all over it. Woo! So Gabs goes back to writing, and she finishes off the story of how their day ended. So it's Xena, Argo, Gabs, and Jax are leaving.
Alongside my friends.
Yeah. And suddenly you hear this, like, noise. Xena turns around to see what it is. It's a pie in her face. So she gets pied. And inadvertently, Argo gets pied, just FYI. It's so sad.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, Argo, they, like, leave and
no one escapes unscathed.
From the one that got on Xena?
It exploded onto Argo.
The one they throw at Lucy, like, huge chunks of pie stay on her face. Like, it's like the whole thing is there.
She has to, like, remove it from her mouth because it's so
And I have to say, I love Gabrielle's line to Xena about the bet, where she's like, I saw you throwing pies in a less than loving manner.
That's me.
I thought that was loving. So cute. Less than loving manner. And this thing with the off-screen person throwing the pie is, again, a Stooge reference. They like to cap off.
Great. I'm so glad they ended it with a Stooge reference.
It was lacrimose.
It was lacrimose.
Yeah, and he's just fucking laughing still about it. I think he's just going to go around pieing people, like, forever.
I think so. That's his new thing. He's God of despair and pie fights. Kind of the same thing.
Oh, man. Good thing the Twilight is around the corner. Maybe it'll make him stop pieing people.
Lacrimose is first to go.
Yeah. Make the pie fight stop.
I thought of that earlier when we said that thing about how Aphrodite has, like, all the time in the world, and I was like,
God,
oh no, but I was like, yeah, it does, but it makes sense to her right then.
Yeah.
And it made me sad, but she's fine because always fine. Anyway,
she's
wins.
Fine. Spoilers.
She's fine. Spoilers.
Love wins. Oh, I love it. Oh man, I love it. Okay, well, we did it. We have done this episode, and I want some pie.
So, I mean, yeah, I really do, actually.
Anything else to add about it? It's a good old time.
I think so. I think we are in the middle of season 5 exactly, and I'm pretty excited to do the back half.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm
really
moving out of the trouble zone.
Yeah,
into a better zone.
Good stuff is coming.
Yeah, and even stuff that's, like, maybe considered less than great or, you know, not 100%. I'm very excited to talk about. There are a bunch of. I'm looking at the list of episodes right now and smiling.
All right, cool. You guys can go get yourself some pie and then follow us on all the stuff and things.
Yep, we're on our website for sure. XenaWarriorPodcast.com. Please find us on Apple Podcasts where you can subscribe, rate, and leave reviews. And we always love getting stars and reading your feedback. And it also helps people find the podcast. We are on Twitter at XenaWarriorPod, on Facebook and Tumblr and Instagram, Xena Warrior Podcast. And we are on Patreon. You can go to patreon.com and search for Xena Warrior Podcast. It's patreon.com/Xena Warrior Podcast.
The power.
The passion.
The podcast.